Your business is not a hobby, and it is certainly not a collection of random acts of digital kindness in the world of high value digital boutiques. Profitability isn't about being everywhere, it's about being in the right corner. Most women entering the great shift make the mistake of building a wide, shallow ocean of content that attracts everyone but serves no one. If you find yourself exhausted by the reach but discouraged by the revenue, it's because you haven't yet anchored your business in your profitable corner. We're walking through how to find your profitable corner today, but stay with me till the end because I share my one specific glimmer that shifts my own struggle into grace. It's the perspective that most people miss. This shift is the difference between a business that feels like a heavy anchor's dragging you down, and one that acts as a steadying anchor for your legacy. Think of your profitable corner like a boutique shop in a quiet cobblestone alley of the French Quarter or wherever you live. You don't need the foot traffic of a massive shopping mall to be successful. You only need the right people who are looking for exactly what you have curated inside your digital boutique. When you try to sell to everyone, your voice becomes background noise. But when you claim a specific corner, your message becomes a beacon for a woman who has been searching for your specific kind of wisdom. There was a woman that I worked with who spent years creating content about productivity. She was helpful, she was kind, and she was completely burnt out because she was competing with the entire internet. The shift happened for her when she stopped trying to be the productivity queen for everyone and decided to become the digital systems architect, specifically for retired educators. That's her niche. By narrowing her walls, she actually expanded her influence. She stopped being a spectator in the crowded market and became the authority in her own boutique corner. To find this corner for yourself, you must look at the intersection of three specific elements. First, identify the deep, lived experience that you possess that others find difficult to replicate. Second, look for the specific struggle for your ideal client. What are they currently facing, and what keeps her awake at night? Finally, identify your quiet income bridge, the digital product that solves that struggle for sophisticated simplicity. When these three intersect, you have found a corner that is not only profitable, but is actually sustainable. If you're new to our circle, welcome to Glimmer and Grace Co. I'm Michelle, and I'm here to help you navigate your graceful pivot toward a soft life of sophisticated simplicity while helping you build your quiet income through your own digital products and boutique. Understanding your corner is the mechanical necessity for everything else that we build. If your corner is soft, the foundation of your digital boutique will never hold the weight of your legacy that you are trying to build. This brings us to the actual vetting process of your ideas, because once you have a corner, you must ensure it has the strength to support the life that you actually want to live. Before you can build a legacy, you must ensure the ground that you've chosen is solid. It isn't enough to simply pick a corner of the market. You must vet the corner to ensure that it aligns with the soft life that you're cultivating. If your profitable corner requires you to be on a hamster wheel of 24/7 engagement, it isn't a boutique business. It's just another high-pressure job with a different title. Vetting is the process of filtering your passion through the lens of long-term sustainability and quiet income potential. Think of vetting your profitable corner like a master gardener testing the soil before planting a heritage rose bush. You don't just look at the color of the dirt. You check the pH balance, the drainage, the sunlight, and if the soil is too acidic, that rose, no matter how beautiful the dream, will never thrive. In your business, the pH balance is the market demand, and the sunlight is your unique ability to show up in that space without losing your peace of mind. I recently spoke with a woman who wanted to start a digital boutique centered around high-end event planning for corporate retreats. She had the experience and the talent, but as we vetted the idea, we realized that it required her to be on call during the very weekends that she wanted to spend at her own family's cabin. Her corner was profitable on paper, but it was toxic to her lifestyle goals. We pivoted her focus toward creating digital retreat in a box assets for internal HR teams. She kept her expertise, she kept her profit, but she regained her Saturdays. To vet your own corner, begin by asking if your chosen topic has legs, meaning, can you talk about this for the next 3 years without feeling the urge to flee? Next, look at the existing conversation in that space. If everyone's shouting, look for the quiet gap where your graceful authority can be heard. Finally, ensure that there's a clear path from a free glimmer of value to a high-value digital asset. If there's no logical bridge between your free content or a lead magnet and a paid product, you haven't found a corner yet. You've found a hobby. Once you've vetted your corner and confirmed that it can support your vision, you move from the what to the who, because a corner is just a space until the right person walks into it. Understanding the heart of the woman that you're trying to serve is the next essential layer of your digital boutique, because without her, your quiet income remains a silent dream. Finding your corner and vetting your vision are the structural bones, but the heart of your digital boutique is the woman you are building it for. In our circle, we don't look at demographics or target markets as cold data points on a spreadsheet. We look at them as a mirror. For the GenX woman, the shift toward a quiet income is often born out of a desire to finally be seen for her wisdom rather than her utility. If your content doesn't resonate with her soul, she will never trust you with her transition. Connecting with your audience is like hosting an intimate dinner party in a beautifully lit garden. You don't stand at the head of the table and give a lecture on the menu. You sit amongst your guests and you listen more than you speak. And you offer insights that make them feel understood before they feel taught. The resonance happens in the space between your experience and her lived reality. When she reads your words and thinks, she's in my head, you have successfully moved from being a stranger to a trusted partner in her pivot. I worked with a woman who was a high-level executive coach. She was brilliant, but her brand felt like a cold glass office building. She couldn't understand why her digital products weren't selling to the women she wanted to reach, women like her who were ready to leave the corporate ladder behind. We realized she was still speaking the language of the grind that she was trying to help them escape. When she shifted her tone to reflect the soft life that she was actually living, sharing stories of her morning garden walks and the peace of a portable business, her resonance skyrocketed. She stopped being a coach and started being a lighthouse. To build this resonant connection, you must apply a specific framework for understanding. First, identify the internal dialogue, the specific phrases that she says to herself when she's alone with her own thoughts. Second, acknowledge the legacy tension, the pull between wanting to provide for her family and wanting to finally claim her own time. Third, offer the graceful solution. A path forward doesn't require her to sacrifice her own peace for her profit. This isn't about manipulation. It's about deep, empathetic alignment. When you speak directly to the heart, the mechanical parts of marketing, the emails, the sale pages, the social posts, they become much lighter. They stop being chores and start being invitations. These leads us to the final piece of the puzzle, the one specific shift I promised to share at the beginning. It's the element that ties your corner, your vetting, and your resonance into a single unbreakable cord of success. The final shift, the one that turns the struggle into grace, is moving from a content creator to becoming a curator of wisdom. Most people in the digital space are exhausted from feeling like they must constantly invent something new. But in a high value digital boutique where your profitability doesn't come from novelty, it comes from your own ability to anchor your audience in what is timeless. When you stop trying to be viral and start being essential, the pressure to perform evaporates, leaving room for the quiet income to flow. Think of this shift like the difference between a fast fashion outlet and a vintage gallery. The outlet is obsessed with the trends of the week, constantly clearing shelves and shouting for attention. The vintage gallery, however, is curated. Each piece is chosen with intention, and the owner knows that the right collector will wait for the right piece. When you curate your digital boutique, you're telling your audience that your wisdom is an asset, not a disposable tip. You're building a gallery of solutions that'll remain relevant long after the latest hack has been forgotten. Years ago, I found myself chasing every new platform, every new strategy, thinking that more volume equaled more value. I was a slave to the algorithm, and my portable life felt like a heavy suitcase that I was dragging through an airport. The shift happened after I realized that my most profitable corner was built on the foundations that I had already laid over 30 years of being an educator. I stopped looking for what was next, and I started looking at what was permanent. By narrowing my focus to a few high-value digital assets and speaking with authority on what I was an expert in, I found the glimmers in my business again. To implement this final shift, you must follow the framework of the anchor. First, audit your current ideas and strip away anything that feels like a hustle. If it doesn't serve your long-term legacy, it doesn't belong in your boutique, girls. Second, solidify your signature message. It's the one truth that you want to be known for in your corner. Third, package that message into a digital asset that works for you while you're away from your desk. This is how you transition from a business that requires your constant presence to one that honors your presence-led lifestyle. If anything in this video resonated with you today, please give it a like and share it. Join our circle by subscribing. It's free to you and it grows our community. I want you guys to remember to find your glimmer today and walk in grace. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.